Like the tail of a comet on an invisible trajectory, the norm becomes hazy, and lines that were once as sharp as molds spread like instantaneous ripples in the absence of permanence. The tone is engulfed by fog, and by the time it reverberates, its meaning wavers. What appears as a sign, not an answer, is the sign of a blurred norm, a passing footstep, a half-open door, a book someone has casually placed there. All of these things, secretly changing form, invite the world to a new equilibrium. When a former commandment becomes a grazed inscription, it is never made explicit, but only just so. Signs do not speak. Whenever the moon shimmers on the clear surface of the water, the rigid lines fade, the boundaries become hazy, and the sign is simply there, unobtrusively. The correctness of the cast is like an old directional needle, shifting slightly against gravity. Between north and south, countless possibilities intersect, and we have no choice but to move forward without being able to determine even the direction. The norm speaks, a voice without a voice, but the sound is so delicate that even if we listen carefully, we cannot scoop it all out. It is a shadow on the wall, a divergence between the illusion of tactile intelligence and reality. Then I look at it with my eyes. Look at the light that slips through the cracks of your fingers, at the faint trajectory of a pebble on the side of the road. There is surely a sign there, a sign that breathes beyond time, subtly, modestly, but surely. The world used to be a ball rolling on a straight line. The norm was a path engraved on the board, and the ball was only allowed to trace the path. But one day the sphere's rotation shifts slightly, and the shadows deviate from the path. The norm blurs. The boundary is shrouded in a haze, and like a mirage, it is just a hand's reach away. The line that was once clear becomes an ambiguous blank space, sublimated by the sublimation of the individual through natural fusion. The clear distinction between what is right from here and what is wrong from there somehow fades away, and there is only something there without any sense of it. The direction of the unconsciously placed palms, the echoes of silence that arise at the moment of a break in the conversation. The sign speaks. However, it is not clear, but it is there. They are not formal, but rather fragments of meaning that float in the air. One picks them up, rolls them in the palm of one's hand, and measures one's own contour. The norm is there, but the contours disappear and continue to change shape. The sphere that once rolled in a straight line now becomes a fluid, branching off along countless paths, scattering signs. To know this, we read the signs. Shadows of meaning that appear without notice. Blurred norms drift like fog. What once had an outline is transformed into a vague shadow. Lines that we do not even know who drew them are faintly blurred, yet certainly unidentifiable. A certainty of existence. If you strain your eyes, you may be able to see them. But the more you try to see, the further away you get. When you notice it, it disappears as if it had never existed in the first place. The mark is just there, unnamed, undefined, yet surely reaching those who feel it, like a breeze caressing the skin, or a glimmer of light seeping into the pre-dawn sky. Norms cannot be captured in words. It seems to be there, but it is not. It seems not to be there, but it is. The world seems certain and uncertain. Correctness has no form, it just flows among people. It is just a sign. The world spreads a mesh of norms like a transparent thin film. But the net is not perfectly woven, and here and there distortion and fraying seep through. Laws rise like stone monuments, but become sand when the wind blows. Boundaries are supposed to be drawn, but they melt away when you step out. An invisible hand pushes you back, and an unheard voice whispers, "This is as far as you go." A faint sign in the shadows. Grass sprouts on cracked pavement. A midday star spills over the tip of someone's shoe. Outlines are blurred, rewritten, and eventually even words are transformed. But change may be the only law that remains the same. Like light shimmering through the clouds, the norm leaves us with a sign that appears unobtrusively while wavering. Boundaries that should be invisible are quietly crumbling. Like the blurring of light between day and night, the norm is blurred and loses its clear outline. But it is an immovable presence that transcends time. Someone's footsteps pass by. The reverberations of old thoughts fade away, faintly reflected, like raindrops on cobblestones. It always arrives late or exists only as a shadow of the past. The norm should have been there, but when you notice it, it has somehow changed into another form. In the gaps of silence, signs appear. a fingertip indicated by something invisible. But only a faint trace is engraved somewhere in this place for sure.